I had this conversation with Robert Sapolsky, and it was really, really profound. I mean, I know that he's a brilliant guy, and this new book of his is about sort of free will and determinism, which has got an upper bound on how interesting that is for me. But he gave this quote to Andrew Huberman where he said, dopamine is not about the pursuit of happiness. It is about the happiness of pursuit.
Right. That's definitely right.
And I haven't been able to stop seeing this everywhere. So Morgan Housel, a friend, told me this great story. He is an investor. He's got a fund. He's an author. He's got a family. He's got all of these things. They plan to go away on holiday. And they've been planning it for a long time. And with the kids and the wife and him and all of his businesses, it was an arduous thing to go through to get themselves out there. And finally, they get there after the journey and the plane and the children and the crying and all of the rest of it. And he walks out on the balcony on the first night of this holiday that they've planned for forever. And his first thought to himself was, wouldn't it be great if we came back here next year? It would be so great if we could come back here next year. So literally during the supposed enjoyment of the destination, he was already thinking about the journey. And, you know, it's not the journey, it's not the destination, it's the journey is kind of trite, but it puts a new perspective on it. There is no destination. Each destination is simply the beginning of the next journey. And I haven't not been able to see it. I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere in my own life.
Well, there's technically two different forms of reward. There's consummatory reward. And so that's the reward. That's what an orgasm is. It's consummatory reward. It brings the behavioral and perceptual sequence to a halt. It ends it, right? At the climax, it ends it. But then it's over. That journey is over, right? Then there's the dopaminergic reward that Sapolsky was talking about. And dopaminergic reward is evidence of advancement towards a goal, right? Okay, so there's a corollary to that. Well, how do you become optimally engaged? Because dopamine facilitates engagement and focus, which is why drugs like amphetamines can be used for kids who are attention deficit disordered. You tap up the dopamine response, they lock on, right? Okay, so they're locking on to a goal-directed pursuit. Dopaminergic reward is reward that's accrued in relationship to a goal. Okay, so what's an implication of that? Well, pursue the highest possible goal. Well, why? Because the kick from advancement is higher. Now, you have to balance that. It can't be, you have to advance, right? Because imagine the reward's got two components. Number one is you're moving towards something valuable. Okay, so you want it to be as valuable as possible. Okay, but you have to be moving. So it can't be so valuable that it's out of your reach.
You're going to walk